Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen across our beautiful country of Canada, our friends around the world, the universe, everywhere. Welcome back to your favorite Angry Canadian on the 11th day of August 2023. It's Friday and it's sunny in the Okanagan. And we're going to have a little mini heat wave, apparently. It's going to go into the 30s. You know what we used to call that in the old days? Summer. Summer. Summer, summer, summer. But now, these are crises. And you know, perhaps the biggest show right now is all the forest wildfires all over the world. They're happening in Greece. They're happening in Spain, Portugal, across America, going in, Canada. Holy shit, we're burning up. Woo! Probably contributing to our heat. And then now Hawaii. You know, if I was conspiracy-minded, I would start thinking that, well, they've already said that a number of the wildfires all across wherever have been set by people. Arsonist is the name they give to them. Now, I don't know where this arsonist person lives, but boy, he sure the hell gets around. And then our forest management systems, which have basically allowed the forest to go to shit, with a lot of dry wood underneath the foliage and trees dying because of beetles and being left in place. Well, what can we say about them? It's like a candle in the wind. But like I said, you know, I'm having really big thoughts about how they would use the climate as a final button to push on the Great Reset. Because what's happening now is, aside from the fact that climate change usually takes a long time, what's happening now with the environment is happening lightning fast. Oh yeah, lightning caused a lot of the forest fires too. Oh man, in Canada, here in BC, we've had a ton of lightning. But it's still climate change. Climate change is the ultimate devil, the demon. And we're going to have to teach all the people to be aware of it, afraid of it, and start early in school with the kids that, you know, you're not going to have a future because your parents are using fossil fuel, and you have to get them to use renewable. And now listen, just because Canadians aren't as wealthy as many people around the world think, that doesn't matter. Hold it, wealthy? Well, I guess some people make money. Like, what about the Bank of Canada?
Bonuses are for when people do a good job, not for people who fail at their one and only job. And most organizations don't shower their employees with bonuses when they had their worst year in 4 decades. Well, someone forgot to tell the Bank of Canada that. The Bank of Canada handed out $20 million in bonuses in 2022. Now, the Bank of Canada has one job: keep inflation low and around 2%. Inflation last year was almost 7%, a 40-year high. Didn't matter, bonuses anyway. $20 million in bonuses in 2022, $18 million in bonuses in 2021, and $16 million in bonuses in 2020. All told, the Bank of Canada handed out almost $72 million in bonuses and raises since the beginning of the pandemic, and as inflation soared. But here's the craziest part of the entire story. The Bank of Canada itself admitted that it missed the mark on inflation. No duh, and that the organization should be held accountable. But handing out big bonus checks to 80% of the workforce is a weird way to hold your organization accountable. So here's what has to happen. Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre said that he would end the bonuses for failing government authorities like the Bank of Canada. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, in her last budget, said she would find more than $1 billion in savings at the Crown corporations. It's time to end the bonuses at failing Crown corporations like the Bank of Canada.
So let me think about this. Where does the Bank of Canada get its money from? How does it work? How does the banking system work? Where do they get all the money for bonuses? And why are they giving bonuses when the bank is failing at its job? But all would be forgiven if Canada was doing well. Just like, we're told continually by the government, holy shit, we're the envy of the G7 and we're the greatest and we got the lowest inflation and lowest unemployment and oh my God, Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland put their heads together and now we can see the direction for Canada. It's going to be up and away. And the only thing that would make things better is another win for the Liberals. But to be quite honest, I think the Conservatives would screw it up just as bad as quickly. So what's going on?
The credit crunch is here, whether you realize it or not, and credit tightening is occurring as people miss payments and as impaired loan surges. So let's get right into this. Canada's bank regulator moves to tighten credit as impaired loans surge. They don't really do a lot here, but we'll just go through it anyway. We've got so much to go through today, including, guys, one bank where it stands out compared to the other big five in terms of an anomaly with what's happened with some data. So anyway, we'll get into that at the end. Domestic stability buffer. The domestic stability buffer is money that banks have set aside for a rainy day. In the event a bank needs emergency cash, the regulator can authorize the use of the DSB, avoiding the need for the taxpayer bailout. Great. So why not raise it to 50% and have the taxpayers never hear the word bailout again? That's kind of being funny there. So the impact of higher DSBs can cost you a lot more. As a risk event approaches, the DSB rate rises, meaning banks are setting aside more cash. This reduces credit liquidity, which means borrowers will have to compete for what's left. Less credit liquidity results in more expensive credit, less credit, or harder qualifications. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now happen, whether or not they increase it 50% or not. We're already seeing that happen. So the credit tightening is occurring, and it must feel very, very like you're in a precarious place if you have a ton of credit and you're in a ton of debt, because this is not where you want to be. So very, very interesting. So let's go over to the Bank of Canada, take a look at M1 Plus and M1 Plus Plus and M2 Plus Plus. So let me describe these to you first so you understand what I'm actually talking about. M1 Plus, currency outside banks plus personal and non-personal checkable deposits held at chartered banks, plus all checkable deposits at trust and mortgage loan companies, credit unions, and Caisses Populaires, excluding deposits of these institutions plus continuity adjustments. So basically,
borrowers seeing loan balances grow because of higher interest rates. Well, yeah, shit, your mortgage rate would go up because you're paying more each month and take longer to pay off, and you're going to be paying more off. Or not more off, you're going to be giving more money to the banks. And then, we got the commercial real estate being in a not too comfortable position now. Even in the Okanagan, you travel from one end to the other, and you're going to see a lot of empty commercial spaces. And that is going to come home to roost sometime in the future. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with them. In the U.S., you got shopping malls. Actually, I think there was a mall outside of Calgary, too, that had problems. But there's a lot of issues going on. But I guess politicians love to live with their head in the clouds. Look at Justin Trudeau. You damn well got to know that guy is floating way up high. I mean, he's a Barbie boy with his son. They're Barbie boys. Ooh, Canada's got to be proud of the Barbie Boobsy twins, but we got so many goofs to choose from. How about our WEF member and Canada's Finance and Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland, helping Canadians save for a first home. And they're going to help build the homes and everything. I mean, the government is your buddy.
Thank you very much for the Y for hosting us. I really appreciate it. We're here in my riding of University Rosedale, and it's been sorry about that, guys. And it's been a chance. I've just had a chance to have a really useful conversation with young Canadians, many of them people who live in my riding, who've actually
many of them people,
my constituency office.
Many living in my riding, not many of them people.
A challenge that I think many young Canadians would define as the single biggest challenge in their lives, and that is the challenge of housing and affordability. And they talked about the challenges that they're facing in their lives. It was a chance for me and for some people in the financial services to highlight the First Home Savings Account, which has been available since April and actually has had very, very strong pickup. A lot of particularly young Canadians are using this as a way to save for that first down payment. And many of the people around the table talked about how they do already have a First Home Savings Account. So it was an opportunity to highlight that. But mostly for me, it was an opportunity to hear from young Canadians, from people in my own community, about the challenges they're facing. Okay, so I'm not going to comment on that specifically, but let me just say generally, our government is very aware, I think all Canadians are very aware, that foreign interference is happening in Canada, and foreign interference really isn't acceptable. And it's something that our government is very focused on, and very focused on protecting Canada and our democracy.
And the media never fails to let me down. Because here they are, or here she is, talking about affordability of housing, which is a huge issue, especially with the friggin' government bringing all the migrants in. Now there's a pushback starting to happen against that. But I don't think the government's going to listen to Canadians. I mean, you don't want the migrants, you're racist. You're a white supremacist. You're evil. You're a far-right conspiracy theorist. They're going to find ways to continue this because they're looking for votes. Quite simply, looking for votes. So let's ask as one of the questions about foreign interference in Canadian elections. Oh no, you're telling me that there's foreign interference? I knew it. I knew the CIA, FBI, all of those in the US have been helping the No, that's not the kind. Who? Oh, China. Oh no, Russia. Russia bad. China, well, Trudeau has soft spot for him. But one of the questions I would love to hear, and I know it's stupid because we'd never get a correct answer, is how many countries' elections has Canada interfered with, say, in the last 5 years? Just curious. Which country? Or was Canada involved in the coup that took place in Ukraine in 2014? There was a lot of talk about it. And there was a lot of talk about, who was it, Lindsey Graham and John McCain or Victoria Nuland. There was talk about the Canadian Embassy being involved in whatever they were. We don't know the truth. The only truth that we know is what the friggin' government wants us to think. And using their trained monkeys in the mainstream media to parrot out all the same crap. I mean, how many times have you heard how Russia, for no reason, no warning, nothing, just invaded Ukraine. Oh, how many times have you heard that Putin was sick, dying, or dead even? I mean, media has no problems with lying to you, neither does the government. And you know why that is? My dear friends, it's because we allow it. We put up with it. You know, if people started, but I was just going to say, if people started going off mainstream media, cable and stuff, well, they're coming after social media also, the internet. They're coming after people being able to post content. Not that it's false, not that it's not true, well, same thing, not true, but because it's unacceptable. Could be the government, could be the media source. It's unacceptable. So you're going to be censored from saying that. Welcome to our new reality. And it will stay this way until people rise up and cleanse our country, our provinces, our municipalities from all these a-holes who are destroying our lives and making conditions worse and worse. I mean, property taxes is something too I could go into for a while. Talk about all the increases, how it's going to impact people, but whatever. It's just crazy. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. I got more to say. I got another video already lined up, but thank you for watching. And if you feel it's worthy, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment.